What's up, everyone? This is your host, Jose Marquez, and I want to welcome you to the Sunday BYOB podcast on YouTube. BYOB means Bring Your Own Bible, and our goal is to make it come alive for you. We invite a wide range of guests to share their stories of triumph, joy, victory, and sorrow, and each episode is designed to talk about real issues with real people about a real God. We hope that you are curious, because if you are, you have tuned into the right place. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? It is your host, Anna Marquez. I know it's not Jose, but still, we got the better half. Welcome to another episode of the Sunday BYOB podcast. And today we have the honor of having Mr. Chico from the Cause and Effect podcast. And hold on a second, I learned something new.
Hey. Hi, everyone. Saludos, mi gente.
And we have my sister, Roxy.
Hey.
And I don't know why it's taking us so long to do a podcast together, because I feel like all our text messages all day are like podcast-worthy content.
We need you two definitely do.
All we do is talk about
shit.
stuff all day. But today we are here to discuss the Enneagram Type 4. And these two lovely people are Type 4s. And I love that this is a new space, by the way.
Yes.
Thanks to Chico and the Cause and Effect crew.
Yes. Shout out to all the guys, Ralphie, Fernando.
But I love this juxtaposition of male versus female, Type 4 thing going on. I love
cool.
having the perspective of a male and a female, because you guys are so wildly different, but also you guys are both Type 4. But I want to start off with, I guess, asking, what was your first impression of a Type 4 when you first got the test result? And I think you did it twice or something, right?
I did it twice because I didn't
be a
believe
four.
it.
You know, because
like,
I did the same
Let me
thing.
get a redo.
I did the same thing. I was like, I don't want to be a 1. I'm going to do this all over again and get another score.
And
you know how you take like the superhero test?
Or like the Hogwarts
yeah,
test.
and
Where you're like, I'm
no Snape.
I'm not Slytherin.
I'm not Voldemort.
No, it was like when you get Hufflepuff and you're like, no.
I ain't gonna be no Hufflepuff.
My thing was, I saw that part where it said jealousy or envy.
Oh yeah, envy
was a
is
trait, and I was like, you know what? I need to do this over and see if this comes up again. If I get this number again, then I'm gonna believe it. But I didn't really fully like agree to other things it said about a 4.
And Sana, what was your first impression?
I was pretty much like, yeah, spot on, like 100%.
Yeah. Actually, when
I kept getting the first 2 times, I got the number 2, and I was like, there's no way I'm not that nurturing. Like, I'm just not. So that's why I was like, I don't really believe it. Like, I don't really think it fits me. But I kept getting that answer. And then you sent me the link of the one that we figured it out. Mm-hmm. And it was a 4. And then it was like, oh, okay, 100%. Like, duh.
It's funny because when I sent you that link, I was in the middle of studying the Type 4.
Well, you also kept being like, Rox, this is you. Like, this is 100%.
And then I was like, as I was reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a living example, word for word, exactly
I'm
what
a true 4.
Yeah, she's right down the middle.
And you and Jose have been pretty good at spotting people's numbers, or like having an idea of what you believe. You know, like Fernando, Ralphie. I don't know if you guys guessed my number, but you guys, when I told you I was a 4, you were like,
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably easier to see for 4s at least to like recognize a female 4 than like a male 4.
Why is that?
Okay, yeah, why is that?
Because for the most part, I think that 4s, from what I can read, are like super emotional, super like in tune with their emotions, and like they're very sensitive. So that's what I feel like society would immediately think, like, okay, a female, and she's like super creative and like you know. So I feel like it's harder to almost pinpoint like a number 4 for a man, because men are usually more like, I think if they are emotional, they don't show it right away.
They'll try to hide it.
They'll try to hide it, so you kind of have to really know the person to be like, oh yeah, he's 4.
Yeah. Because the walls, the society, the manly machismo.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And actually, the 4 is the most complicated of all the numbers. And
it ain't easy being a 4.
It's not.
That's how it works.
It's the most complicated, and it's the least common type. So you guys are like unicorns.
Right. That's
I
what
like
I
that.
like.
I like that. I like that. And I guess a 4 would like that. 'Cause
Right,
when I
okay.
heard that, every time I heard that, that's the only thing that I wanted to tell
Right,
people.
like,
Like, hey,
I'm
it's
a
hard to
4.
become a 4. It's hard to be
Right.
one. Like, this is a hard number to be.
I'm super special. Well, some of the characteristics I'll go over it for anyone that's listening in the audience. If you haven't taken the Enneagram test, I encourage you to take it. I encourage you to also study all the other types. So sometimes, like my sister had said, she was a type 2, but she ended up being a type 4. So you might want to just, I encourage you to dig in a little bit deeper your type and just figure out if that's really your type. But I'm going to go over some characteristics of a type 4, and you guys tell me if this is spot on or not.
I wish I had like a buzzer button. Every time.
That's
Chico,
it right there.
cause and effect, we need to get that buzzer button.
The taboo. That taboo.
Yeah.
All right. The need to be special or unique. Prone to melancholy. Most complex of all types on the Enneagram. What you see is what you get. They want supersized feelings. Moods are life, fast-moving weather patterns. Have rich imaginations where they go to reflect and pine about the past. 4s are known for wearing clothes that set them apart and attract attention.
I like wearing black. No, but I definitely do because I have some bright colors that these guys will be like, yeah, it looks like something you would wear. Like,
Stop, because every time we come here, you're like, if it's not coordinated from head to toe, that's not Chico.
I mean, like the bright attention colors. Like I've always had like bright orange, or I have something that has to stick out from on the outfit. So I agree with that statement right there. Where
when I saw that one, I
different-
was like, that's definitely Chico there.
different vibes.
Sensitive and easily overwhelmed. They dwell within themselves and can be self-absorbed. They look for what's missing. They're deeply self-aware.
When we say that we're looking, we're searching for what's missing. Is that kind of like stings a little bit because it's like, it makes you think like, all right, am I gonna find that, or is that like something that I'm always gonna be searching for because of like my personality?
I
Yeah.
feel like we'll always be in the pursuit of more. Like even in career and love life, like, which is the worst part. But I don't think that we are easily like satisfied, or at least like once we find like that we're complacent in something, or like we reach something. Like let's say you reach a goal, you're like, all right, well, what else can I do? Or like,
Yeah.
because I feel like we just get like if we reach our goal, then we'll get bored, and then we'll want to like I guess like the challenge.
Is it more
like,
of what's missing, exterior or interior?
That's a good question.
maybe both?
I think a little bit of both, because you know how it says that we envy sometimes other people or something that other people have, and I think it's because we see the external and we say, "Damn, I should have that too."
That's
but
where the envy
internally,
comes in.
that's where the envy comes in. But internally, we're searching for what we think is the where you arrive, and I think we never feel like we arrive.
Right.
I just want to like clarify. Sometimes I feel like envy and jealousy are people think they're the same thing, but it's really not. Like envy is, I'll read to you what I have here, but envy is desiring something someone else has, versus jealousy is having that and afraid that someone's going to take that away.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So there's like, I feel like a lot of people confuse envy and
Okay.
jealousy.
Yeah,
as
I
the
do.
Oh no,
I
yeah.
thought that was the same
I thought
thing.
it was the same thing too.
But the weakness or the deadly sin of a 4 is envy, is desiring something that someone else has. So that could be like, someone else's life that's maybe more interesting, or you think is more interesting,
Now it makes sense
Or-
where we're searching for what's missing.
or comparing yourself to like someone that you aspire to be, or someone that you admire, or someone that gives you inspiration. And then coupling that with the need to find what's missing can catapult a 4 into this like never ending journey of finding what's missing, and then you're missing out on the present.
Yeah, 100%.
So how do you like,
That's accurate.
Like you just lived through it.
Super accurate.
but how do you,
Super
I guess the question would be, how do you come back to the present and enjoy the present?
Oh, like how do I dig myself out of the rabbit hole that I dug?
Pretty much.
People normally have to take me out of that space. Like,
honestly,
I have to get like I gotta get checked.
I think as a 4 though, like, because I'll get into like a hole, but I need to dwell in it for a second. Like, I just do. Like, don't try to take me out. Don't try to be like, or don't try to like talk it over as if it doesn't happen, or like if I'm going crazy, because I'm just gonna dwell in it. Like, even if it's for 5 minutes or for like 5 days, just let me like be in my emotion, and then I'll be alright. Like, I'm gonna snap out of it like eventually. I need to like process it, because I'm the kind of person that, like, I don't just like brush my emotions away. Like, I instantly feel it, I'll instantly deal with it, and then I'll like move on.
And that's such a like another characteristic of a 4. Like, so I'm saying you're so spot on. You could be like the poster child for a 4. But a type,
I think it's healthy though. Like, I'm not suppressing it.
Of course, you think it's healthy.
I think. I mean, I look
think
at
I'm
that
doing
as
it right.
healthy.
I don't know about y'all.
I just feel like sometimes it becomes unhealthy because I stay there too long.
Oh, okay.
And that's my. I'll stay there too long because that's where I entertain the thoughts where I keep questioning and trying to figure something out. That it might just be that, and that's it. Just take that as it is. Take whatever feelings you got from that and move on. But it's just like I'll stick there and just look at it and just feel it, and then I'm listening to music to help encourage that feeling even more. It's like I'll keep myself isolated from everybody. You want to
experience the whole thing. Like, if I'm like sad, I want to feel the whole sadness.
Yeah.
Even if it's for like an hour. Like, I just want to feel the whole thing. Don't try to like take me out of it, because I just want to feel it, and then I'll be fine. That's part of my healing process, I guess.
Chico, I know you had talked about in a previous podcast that we did on body, soul, and spirit. You talked about breathing exercises. Is that a way for you to stay present?
I'm learning. I struggle with being present. Like, I've noticed it even more because I'm constantly thinking. Normally, I think it was unhealthy when I was thinking about the past, because those are things that, I felt like, damn, I wish I could have changed.
You're dwelling in there.
Yeah, but when I'm thinking about the future, now I get obsessed of trying to make sure that I get that perfect result, or get that result that I'm looking for in the future. So I'm constantly thinking of the future and struggling to be in the present. So I think that, it creates anxiety for me in some way, and breathing helps me, remember, like, yo, relax, take it easy. You're here right now. Try to take in what's going on right now. And those are odd moments for me to catch that, because I'm like, again, I'm struggling always, because I'm always thinking ahead, what we're gonna do next. What's gonna be here 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I'll have people text me, or I have my girlfriend text me and say, can we just have a conversation when you're not clicking out of the conversation or checking out mentally for a minute? And that's when I have that moment where I'm like, all right, anchor back in.
Stay present.
Yeah, stay present.
Yeah, that's cool that you have like Nicole to keep you in check like that.
Big time. Big time.
What are some of the things that... Go ahead.
No, I think that I'm similar with Chico when it comes... I think I dwell more in the future than I do in the past. Like, I don't... Like, my rabbit holes aren't really much of the future. It's more like... I don't know about you, but I'll like fantasize about things.
Yes.
Not like in a freaky way, but
that
like
that
in
is
like
it.
A general
like
way.
you imagine it how
like,
it would be. Like,
right, like
yeah.
it'll be anything, like the
That's
smallest
crazy.
thing. Like, it'll be the small, like, not even like
what
relationship wise. It'll just be like regular stuff.
Like, how do you fantasize
like being a mom or whatever? Like, I'll look at
I
a
thought it
child
was
and
like
then I'll go in a rabbit hole, and the baby is like 15 years old already.
I thought you meant like a peanut butter sandwich or something.
Sometimes, not far off, but like it'll just like that's how I like. Those are my rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't dwell too much on like what happened, what I did. Like, I don't, I'm not too much about the past. It's more like I'll get lost in my thoughts, but it's because I have a story in my head already. Like, I have a whole scenario, a whole story, and then I'll be like, Rox, you don't even know this person. Like, you literally don't know. Like, you just met, like, you just saw this person.
That is so accurate. You
and then
you were able to express exactly that.
But then I kind of feel like for a long time I was like, something is genetically wrong with you. But then like, you should, like, why do you make up like novelas in your head?
It's crazy.
But now I'm
crazy.
like, well, maybe that's just how I creatively think about things. Like, that's like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, and I'll share this because I've told this to Nicole. That's kind of how I was able to get with Nicole because I don't know what it was.
Y'all
but
saw
I
yourself married,
I would
kids.
see, I would see like how she like,
was already a grandma.
Like I imagined who she was. It was weird. Like I would fantasize of who she like how she would be just off of her personality online, and then like getting to know her, I saw that it was better than what I imagined. I was like, oh, like this is crazy. But I had to like think about how things would be, kind of like imagine being like her boyfriend or just talking to her and dating her, and then eventually that happened. But that was the process of the beginning with me, and trust me, I have those moments where I'm like, why am I thinking this deep into
right?
it?
Like it is nothing.
She hasn't replied to my DM. Like, what's going on?
I think
but
we
be
just
like
need to
that.
like fill a space in our head. I think, to be honest, like it is hard for me to stay present in a moment because like part of my brain is staying focused in the moment, and then the other half is just like on its own story time.
Yeah. Imagining.
Just imagining.
So, what are some of the things that you guys like about before?
I like everything, to be honest.
The whole thing,
This is who I am.
even the sad songs.
Yeah, that's
See,
the
that's
best
the funny part. I posted this on my Instagram.
This
account.
girl has a long list of sad
And
songs.
I be happy. I be
And I-
happy as
yes.
fuck.
And
I
it be
just get it.
it be dragging down the mood. I be trying to drive, and I'm like, I
I
feel
know.
like
Give me that sad songs. I love them.
You know what's funny? That this time
I be happy singing to them.
Yes, and I got offended one time because somebody said, "Yo, don't let Chico DJ in a party." Like,
was that you, Rafi?
he gonna be. Hey, listen, it was one of these guys because I have music that has like conscious lyrics in it, and it's not like, just party music. And it's like, yo, this guy will have you like partying, and from 1 minute to another, like everybody's in their feelings thinking about life.
We just want everybody to feel their own feelings.
Right?
Like, why y'all not feeling feelings?
Like,
I
why
don't
this song
understand.
don't touch you?
Right.
Like, it doesn't strike a chord. What's going on?
It's a mood. It's
I
a
love
vibe,
driving
like,
to sad songs. 'Cause
no.
my brain be going.
Yo, that
It
is
just be
crazy.
gone.
That
I
is
can't.
so crazy.
I can't do podcasts. Like listening, like driving and listening to a podcast. I gotta like drive to music, upbeat music. Like
Yeah.
it's gotta be. Like,
I be like listening to like political podcasts on my drive, and Anna be going crazy.
And I like listening to like informational like documents.
I
and
also love story.
documentaries.
Like I love story podcasts too. Like I'll just like listen to a story.
yeah, no, I'm not down with the sad song list.
stories, the documentaries.
No, but for real, I guess what was the question that what I don't like about?
No,
being
what you
poor?
like the most.
Oh, what I like the most.
Yeah.
I like being creative.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
The
I do.
creativeness.
Absolutely.
Well,
Because
I
that's
like,
where the imagination
I like
comes
how
in.
easy it comes to me. Like I like how like an idea would just spur. And I don't know if this is a quality before, but I also love how I like how confident I am in my ideas that I don't overthink them. Like it'll just come out and I'll like, all right, well I'm just gonna try it, and I don't know if like if it don't work, it don't work. But I don't care. Like I'm just gonna like throw it out, throw it out
wow,
there.
that's
Yeah.
definitely characteristic of a
Is
four.
it? I don't know if it was like
Yeah.
me or like some people will have an idea and they'll like brew in it, and they'll really figure it out before they like launch it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sit with it for like 5 years. I'm just like I thought about it like 5 minutes ago, and I'm already like typing
Doing
it up.
it,
Yeah, I'm
trying it.
already like trying it.
Listen,
Throwing it out
it's
there.
great that you say that because like the person that's tuning in right to the BYOB podcast, that tunes into any of the other podcasts, it if they realize it, we were on just going, and it was like I would call like the guys and be like, oh, we're doing this now, and it was like, oh, but like, or I'll ask them, hey, how would you guys feel about, if we did this, and then like, oh, we got to think about it. Well, it's too late because I already got everything set up, like, and I know Fernando would say that, I'd be like, yo, Rafi will give us a heads up and say, hey, let's think about it. Chico will ask you, but he'll ask you just because he already did it. He just wants to see like how you're gonna kind of like
That's how
prepare
I am
you.
with Anna. I'm like, Anna, I
mentally.
gotta shoot in like 2 months. You go, like there's a date. We go like
this
I don't know
idea.
all the details, but like this is the mood board. After that, we're gonna figure it out.
That's how it is. It's like just figure it out as we go.
And I've told this to Chico. Like I feel like when I met him, like Chico's ideas were like, oh yo, he's living in the year 3000, and we're just trying to catch up.
Cause we think about life crazy.
Like he's already like way out there.
Like we're
and
not thinking about year 2000.
No. He's already in the year 3000 chilling. But one of the things I find like really cool about the four is that it is that creative outlet that you guys are like easily express.
Mm-hmm.
I know you, Sana, you have the Hyroxy page. It's Hyroxy, HIROXIIE.com. Go check it out. It's super cool. And sign up for the newsletter. It's called La Esquina. It's a monthly newsletter. But you have that outlet, and it's been super fun to like work with you. We've done photo shoots for like brides and stuff. You've pretty much picked up your bridal makeup page from scratch.
Yeah, on the way.
So how is that creative outlet for you?
How is it?
Yeah. Like how does that feel as a like pouring yourself into that outlet?
I feel like I need it to survive in a sense. Like, I'm not trying to be dramatic.
I'm not trying to be a 4 at all.
I'm not trying to be a 4 at all. I'm not trying to be any type of like melancholy about it. But like, mind you, I love my like corporate job. But if I didn't have like a side, like a freelance side, or if I didn't have that creative outlet, like my life I would die of boredom. Like I physically need a project. Like I always need a project, whether it's like right now it's like I'm typing up greeting cards because that's like that's
also
what
on Hyroxy.com. You can purchase them there.
starting tomorrow.
That's dope. That's dope.
But like that's just like a project that I need to pick up. Like I need to try something new. And I think that goes back to like even how I was a culinary student. Like trying something new was part of like who we are. Yeah.
The culinary?
Yeah, I did.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
Stop it, you guys.
In high school, yeah.
Oh my God, what's my high school? Stop.
East Side.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
tech. But
I got rejected. I got rejected by
no,
Tech.
like they're lost. Honestly, they're lost. 100%.
It wasn't because I didn't qualify. It was because I came in too late into high school. I came in junior year, so they were like, if you would have came in sophomore, we could have gotten.
Yeah, they were like that before, but yeah, like so I was a culinary student. I kind of did a little bit of culinary in college too, but that was like how. Like we were very like, what's new? Like you have to try something new. So I think that's what kind of got me into like I need a new project. Even I think of recipes as project too, and you know that. Like when I'll like think of a recipe for like a few days, for no reason. Like I'm not like it's just because I want to try something new. But I think that's just how like I keep my creative muscle going. Because I feel like if I'll stop creating something, whether it doesn't even have to be makeup, like just anything. If I stop creating something, like then. Yeah,
then what happens?
I feel like, you know what it is? It comes down to the fact that you don't feel special and you don't feel unique. That's what it comes down to. And I hate saying it. Like, I feel so
That's
like
why you
vain.
did that pause
I know.
right there?
I was like, well, that's what it comes down to. Because I'm trying to, like, say it another way. But that's really what it comes down to is the fact that I need to feel special. So my projects make me feel special. Yeah. So there it is.
And that reminds me of a verse is in the book of Psalms 139 about feeling special and unique. And I'm just going to read it to you guys real quick. My favorite version is the Passion Translation. And it says, every single moment you are thinking of me, talking about God thinking of you. How precious and wonderful to consider that you cherish me constantly in your every thought. Oh God, your desires towards me are more than the grains of sand on every shore. When I awake each morning, you're still with me. You formed my innermost being, shaping my delicate inside and my intricate outside, and wove them all together in my mother's womb. I thank you, God, for making me so mysteriously complex. How do you feel, like, what is your perception of God and uniqueness? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yes, but I have to remind myself of that. That doesn't come naturally, I think. Like, that doesn't.
That thought?
Yeah, that thought doesn't come naturally. I know it's true. But I do feel like maybe as a 4, you feel like you have to earn it. And I know you don't. Like, I know you don't. But I do feel like if he gave me the gifts, I have to use them. Yeah.
And Chico, the question goes for you too. How has uniqueness and being special or feeling like the need to be special, how do you correlate that with God as well?
It's hard to kind of like verbalize it. Like there's times that I feel like I'm in a reality show, right? And I'm like the main character, and it's weird to think that way, but it's just because I see everything through my own lens. So a lot of times I feel like whatever happens to me, it's like a moment, right? Like I don't know how to explain that. I don't feel like somebody else will feel that. you know, and obviously everybody has gone through similar things. So there's times that I just have to like know, like I tell myself like, I know everybody feels this, but do they see it like or understand it or connect these things the way I do?
I think a big thing for us is that we always feel misunderstood.
Exactly.
In everything.
Exactly. So
Like,
there's times that I'll have like signs, or I feel like that's God showing me, and I'm just like, is anybody else experiencing this right now? Because I feel like God is speaking to me right now, or I feel like there's a sign, or like there was a time where I would see the same numbers on the clock whenever I looked at the clock, and it wasn't like I planned it. It'll just be I'll be walking, and I look at the time, and it's 9:11, but it's always with 11 this, 3:11, 1:11, and until I started questioning that, somebody told me, hey, why don't you just look up, you know, that number on Google. I did that, and there was a whole website talking about things of like angel numbers and like your angels talking to you. But at that time, it was a message that I needed to hear, because it was telling me about, you know, paying attention to signs, paying attention to your life calling, and I feel like, I don't know if it's a fourth thing, but I always feel like there's like a calling for me, but it's just like you don't know what it is, but you know it has to do something with people, and you feel like God's showing you things, but you don't know what it is. So I feel like that kind of like always keeps you wanting to find what it is, but always feeling like you don't know what it is. It's weird. That's why I'm like, God, I know you're having I have a connection, but how do I know, and what do I got to do with this?
That's super crazy, because as I was reading up on the 4 too, I read that 4s feel like they're they're watching their show. And I'm like, you just said it. I'm like, oh my God.
And I've always thought to myself, that sounds kind of like, what do you call it? Cocky, whatever, like it's all about like self-absorbed, conceited, and self-centered. Like I never wanted to say that out loud, but I feel like that's all I can really say when I think about God. Like God put me in this reality show, like, and this is where like death, like I think about constantly, because I'm like, what am I gonna see after that happens?
Oh my God, do you think about that often too?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was like, I thought that was normal, but. Like I just feel like I'd be like, yo, at any moment, like,
right?
And like I'd be driving, I'm like, this is my last drive. Like
yo, the melancholy.
Listen, there's times,
and I'll be fine. Like I'm not trying to be like, I'm not emo at all. I'm just like, yo, what if this is your last selfie you take, or what if this is like?
I don't know if this is normal. I don't know if you experience this, but there's times, right, that I'll think of a sad scenario to make myself sad.
Yo,
like
yes.
I'll picture like, you know, my dad, like, but it wouldn't be like them passing away. It was like my dad crying because I passed away, and then I get teared out.
Yo,
I'm just
oh my
at
God,
my dad, like,
yes,
you don't know what I just thought about.
I literally had the same. I had the same scenario in my head like 2 days ago. I was like, yo, papi, like, imagine, like, how sad you gonna be.
You about to start crying now?
It makes you, because it makes you sad thinking that somebody's crying over you or missing you because you're not here no more.
You know how many times I've thought about like me, like you having to bury me, and I got so sad. I started crying like in by myself, and then like 5 minutes later, like I'm good. I just had an episode.
That is so crazy. That is crazy. Because it's so true. Oh my God!
I don't even know. It doesn't have to. It could be like any point of the day. Like it doesn't have to be like triggered by anything. It's just
at
like
all. It just happens, right?
I thought about you burying me, and I was like, "Yo, Anna gonna be distraught."
Because then we always think it's them that's messed up about it. Because you think everybody's gonna be tight.
And then I was like, "Yo, imagine me in heaven looking at her sad. I'm gonna be sad in heaven." Like, Tito, like, how do I take care of her?
So this is where I want to ask if you've ever had this, because this will be creepy. But there's times, right, where I think about these scenarios, and I picture myself as a ghost trying to tell them, and I'd be like, yo, how hopeless would I feel to be like, yo, I'm good, I'm okay.
No, for real, like, I was literally trying to like hug Anna. My ghost ass was trying to hug you.
Oh, like in Ghost, like in the movie Ghost.
Like at the cemetery, like, how do I make her not cry?
Honestly, that disturbs me because it makes me feel helpless. Like, yo, I wouldn't be able to do anything at that point. Like, I know what it is to be dead, but now I can't tell you about it.
But real question, though, do you feel like these things affect your decisions in life? Because I feel like
that were not on my list.
That's a good question.
No, because I do sit and I be like, all right, Rox, like you down a lot of rabbit holes today. Like, and just.
You met your quota of rabbit holes
like
today?
you had a lot of scenarios, a lot of personas today.
You know what's funny?
Do you feel like, sometimes I feel like my life decisions are, it does affect. Because I think, like, before I make a decision, I'm usually spontaneous about things, but when I'm not, I feel like it's because I saw it in the future, and then I was like, well, what I think, is the future. And then I'm like, nah, you shouldn't do that.
I always think about the possibilities of what something can happen, like the consequences. I think about different scenarios, and I normally either scare myself away from that scenario or push myself towards it. So yeah, I think it influences me on what I do, because I think about what life would be if I didn't achieve something and I would regret it. I think about how my family or something, like I always think about like the future consequences of the people around me or myself, and then it influences me on what I'm gonna do next.
I think that's what we battle with, is like, do we scare ourselves into not doing it, or do we scare ourselves into doing it? Like for me, I think a lot of times I will scare myself into not doing things. I think I'm just always in that battle, but then I feel guilty after. Then you're just like,
you feel like you're holding yourself
back.
back.
Why are you so hesitant about stuff?
Do you feel that in like just decision makings or in relationships? Like
for
friendships and romantic
relationships? For me,
relationships?
it's more relationships, because like the creative process, I don't think it does affect, because I just like, I'm the most vulnerable in my creativeness. Like whether y'all like it or not, it's just that I'm gonna put it out there. But when it comes to like relationships, I am 100% hesitant.
Because you're already creating your scenario.
Because I saw the ending and I was like, I don't like it.
The ending that hasn't happened.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Talk about supersized feelings, people.
That for me, I don't know. I don't think I get scared away. I don't think it influences my decision with relationships. I think it's more of just like what life is gonna look like. I always look at the picture of what life is gonna look like, and if it's something that I don't want, it's normally like, what can I do to avoid that? Those are normally what I'm consumed by. Sometimes I'll think about past relationships that I don't want to happen, so I'll try to kind of like switch ways and try to see if there's like ways that I can improve in how I act, but as well as the person that's around me. Like, hey, should I address this before it even happens? Like I normally find myself addressing something before it happens, and it's like, hey, but what's making you think this? And I'm like, I'm just saying, just because like I thought about it, let's not get there, because I don't want to get there. I don't want to be in that space. So that's what I think I go in, where I can avoid things or change things.
You guys ever watch? Did you watch the Avengers Endgame? You did?
Yeah, I believe so.
With Doctor Strange in the circles.
Okay.
There you go.
Y'all two remind me of Doctor Strange. You know when he went into,
and that's the guy that I can remember the most, because he was weird.
Because he went in.
Just be like,
because he went in and saw like all the different possibilities.
I'm
Like
Dr.
he went down
Strange.
every single rabbit hole, and there was only one answer. I feel like a lot of Fords do that.
he made the whole movie.
Anyways, that was my answer.
Yeah,
But
he was probably a 4.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll have to do like
So
an
I like
Enneagram
him
of
the
Marvel.
most.
But in regards to relationships, there's this really good book called The Road Back to You. And if you guys haven't read that book or haven't bought the book, I suggest that you do. It's a really good book. It's called The Road Back to You by Ian Morgan Cron. And it says, in relationships to 4, it says, in relationships more than anything else, what 4s need are partners and friends who know how to, quote unquote, detach without withdrawing.
That's like you.
That is detached without withdrawing.
Like, and when I read that, that's when I knew Sana was a 4, because
Anna is my perfect soulmate. I'm just put that out there. Like, if I could find a man that is Anna, they're perfect.
Because I noticed like throughout like our lives, like she'll go in, and I didn't know this before the Enneagram, but she'll go into like her moods, or she'll go into like these oversized feelings, and she'll go into these like wide spectrum of feelings, and then she's withdrawn because she's processing them. So I have to give her a moment, like I have to detach from her so she could do it, but I'm not gonna withdraw, like I'm not gonna leave her hanging.
Like, she's not that far away.
I'm just gonna like give her like take one step back, give her space, but like she. You know when you're in a store with a kid and you have to be like you have to be able to see me, like you can walk around but you got to be able to see me. You can't like not be able to see me. That's exactly how I felt like I was with her. Like I had to be in her space but not in her space. If that makes any sense.
I'm definitely like when I'm in the mood, like I don't need you to leave me alone. Like that makes I like now I'm pissed. Like then I get mad. It's like, why would you leave me in this moment? Like, I feel like I just need like...
We're complicators.
Yo, for real. Like,
the most complex.
like, I could be mad at you, but like, stay right there.
Yes.
That's it. Like, just stay right there for a second.
Yes.
Like, I don't need you to leave me alone.
Detach without withdrawing.
That's what.
Like,
that's
I don't
what
need you. I don't need you to leave me alone
God.
because then I'm really gonna be lost. Like, then I'm thinking about like what I did, what you did. Then there's a whole scenario. Then my scenarios are getting deep and they're getting like fiery. They are burning.
Now I understand why I feel like how I feel when there's times that I'm just in the mood, right? And everybody's asking me what's wrong. I don't want to talk about it.
First of all, I don't even know what's wrong.
Right? I just don't. It's just like...
So, give me time to figure out what's wrong.
Exactly, but I'm going to be around you.
Right.
So, like, Nicole will be like, if you're going to feel like that, I think you should just stay home. And I'll be like, no, because I want to be around, though, but just don't talk to me.
Right.
You know, like, just don't talk to me.
I don't know what's so hard.
I could be sitting by myself, chilling,
Yeah.
everybody interacting, and I'm just there feeling how I'm feeling. And once I feel like I'm up for whatever is going on, I'll go and make myself, I'll make myself a part of that. But the problem with that is that Nicole would see that as you're being antisocial, you're being odioso, and you're not being a vibe. And I'm just like, but I can just be there and people,
right.
and, I want to be around people. I just don't want people to be trying to be in my space.
Like an off button, like for a second. Yeah. Just give me like 10 minutes to be like on off, and then I'll get back up.
And that's what I love about the Enneagram. It allows us to like understand each other. So now I know when she's in her mood, I call it the mood. I don't know what it is, but I call it the mood.
It's definitely the mood.
Yeah. And then like Jose knows like what's up with Sana? She's in her mood.
She's in her mood.
And it's usually like it's not even like it's targeted at somebody. Like I'm not mad at somebody. I just
yeah.
I'm in a mood. I don't know.
Yeah. And so I already know when like
it's not. I don't think it's it's not like a bad thing towards y'all. I'm not like because I'm never mad at.
Oh no, I don't take it personal.
Right, like,
I'm just like she's in her mood. I'll just be back when she's
I think sometimes we get consumed also the things that we can't control, like things we can't. Like I think about the world a lot, right? And I think about certain issues that bother me, and me knowing that I can't really like do anything to really impact it in a way that I feel like it's useful.
You feel helpless.
Yeah, and I feel like that gets me in those moods where I'm just like feeling, and it's not that I'm thinking or anything, I'm just feeling, and whatever I'm feeling gets me in a mood where I don't want to be asked too many questions. I don't want you to just talk to me at all because I'm just there doing whatever it is
that we do. I do think
you're going in your mood too.
I do think that it comes the core issue or the core reason why we are that way. Is what I think. I'm no psychologist. I don't know. Is the fear of abandonment? Like, I think that's another. I think that's what it just comes down to. Like, the reason why you can't be too far away, like I could be moody with you, but like just sit right there, is because if you leave, then I'm gonna feel abandoned, and then there's like it's a harder comeback from that.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
spot on.
Learning. I'm learning to connect the dots because this thing is new to me as well, and me reading some of the things that it says about a 4, it makes you have to kind of like sit down and kind of reflect, but also let life continue. And you now with this new awareness, you start looking at things and start understanding it, like, this is how I act, and it's either gonna help you, in addressing it to the people around you so they can either know how to deal with you, because I don't think these are things that you can really just change in some way where it's just not a part of you anymore. It's more of being aware to be able to say, all right, this is where I'm at right now, and this is just understand me a little bit, and I'll work on my things to be able to make this more pleasant, I guess.
Right. Yeah, like I try to read about, like, the more I learn about it though, the more I'm like, all right, don't put yourself down about it. Like, don't see it as a negative thing. Like, this is who you are.
You were wonderfully made that way.
No, for real. Like, I try to be like, well, this is who you are. Like, find the beauty in it or find the pretty in it. Don't try to, like, change it up where it's like, oh, I shouldn't be this emotional or I shouldn't be this in tune with my emotions. Like, no, like, It's okay if you
Embrace
sit in
'em.
it. Yeah, like it's okay that you're sitting in it because some people just don't sit in it.
Yeah.
So
I can only write music because I used to write music, and I realized the only reason why I did that was when I was sad. Like I felt like I had to be going through a breakup. I had to be going through something deep to make me want to write. Because whenever I was happy, you couldn't get me to want to write down my feelings. It was more of now like let me create something that expresses the
maybe
happiness.
that's why we like being all melancholy and sad.
Because
I
we
feel
get
like-
inspired by
I feel like
it, honestly.
all the like old school bachateros were 4s. You wrote
I
bachata
think
lyrics?
Romeo Santos
I
is
agree with
100%
that. I agree with you.
Have you ever
'Cause
written
they were
bachata
always
songs?
going through it. I wrote songs that were pretty similar to what bachateros were saying. Like,
We gotta drop
it was
like a
always your
bachata
fault.
beat over it.
I'm hurt about it. Like, yeah, I definitely feel that. Like, I would be in my feelings a lot when it comes and I need to find a way to channel that.
I
Like,
think that's where your creative process kicks in. Yeah.
the most. And there was times, right? I listen, if you're listening to this, the perfect song that I would identify before with was Lil Wayne, Misunderstood, and I didn't know why. Because
Wait, do you think Lil Wayne's a 4?
no, I don't know, but that song just spoke to me. Like
He might be.
I felt like I was misunderstood, but I didn't know why, because I wasn't going through any major issues where people were like, you know, you're a problem child or you're doing this other stuff. And no, I just felt like whatever I would speak about in certain aspects, it would just be like, oh, okay.
Also,
And
our
I wouldn't get
teenage
any
years
type of
were,
reaction
like,
about it.
Emotional. Like our growing up years were like.
I read somewhere that like
Super
type 4s
emotional.
are like perpetual teenagers.
Maybe that's why I like teenage drama on like Netflix and
Yeah.
stuff.
She's over here exploring all the ideas. Like, oh,
Love
this
me
is
some
making
Riverdale.
sense. You watch Riverdale?
Yo, Riverdale is my dream.
I watched that. I watched
so
it.
good.
It was good.
I love me some Jughead.
I love what you talked about earlier, that when you
Like,
took
my guy.
pay attention.
Sorry.
I like when you talked about earlier when you were talking about that you took the test and you
Yeah.
like, you came out a 2.
100% wasn't a 2.
No, you
I
weren't.
knew it. I was
No,
like,
you
this is a
weren't.
fake
But
test.
it's funny because
Fake test.
The 2s are so mushy and like mom-like. And I was like,
because
this is not me.
it's funny because the type 4 in their times of stress, they gravitate towards the unhealthy side of a 2.
What's that?
I'll read that for you. And it's from a book called The Path Between Us from Suzanne Stabile. You guys, we have some really good books. We'll put them down in the description so you can order them.
Absolutely.
And it says, in this space, as in the 2 space, in the unhealthy 2 space, their self-awareness becomes self-indulgence. Their commitment to being authentic devolves into a stubborn attachment to being different. They can somewhat be pretentious, acting like they deserve more than they have, and they may pretend to be unavailable, hoping that you will pursue them.
That last part.
That last part
I
is
love-
on point. That is
Yo,
crazy.
that last part is so bad that we do that.
That is so crazy. And the
But
indulging part as
yeah.
well. But that
I
part,
can relate to the being unavailable part in hopes that someone would reach out. Just to
Yeah.
make myself feel better.
Sometimes you
That's
just-
just a really unhealthy part. I know.
Yeah. Sometimes,
real-
At least you
yeah.
can
It's real
recognize
ugly.
it.
There's times that I'll just like you'll see phone calls you don't pick up and you're just like call me a couple more times and I'll pick up or I'll call you late like
Like,
it's
but
it's
is the person
weird.
gonna text me after I missed their call? Like then I'll be like, I'm
Yeah. That's so crazy.
It is
Wild.
what it is.
Oh,
It is
Now-
what it
it
is.
is unhealthy because
Yeah.
I can see how that can piss people off.
Now that you say it out loud.
Yes.
Now, what I find not interesting is that Nicole is a type 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you and Nicole, like, can you identify when she's in an unhealthy state and you're also in an leading towards an unhealthy too? Like, you guys almost sometimes crash in the same state of unhealthy too?
I think I do the last part where trying to be pursued, like she'll like say what's wrong or what's going on, and I'm just like nothing. And
It's like we hate it, but we love it.
Yeah, right. It's like I
Yeah.
want to know that you care, and that's my way of.
But don't
doing
ask
it.
me too much.
Right, and don't ask me if I care, like or like if I feel a certain way about you, like you should know this. I just want you to show that you care right now, or that you're showing me some type of attention, and I don't know. Maybe I would say I'm not too familiar with the two as much as I should be, but I do think that sometimes maybe the overthinking and the emotional side that we feel so much emotion, but when somebody's like overly emotional, we also kind of know it. I don't know if it's like it's kind of like we don't know how to deal with it, or we kind of also feel like, yo, what are you so like? Why are you so emotional right now? And I think in the sense of just worrying. I don't like worrying, you know, and sometimes when somebody's like crying or worrying or just like very intense emotions, I get kind of like overwhelmed by it.
Right. And on the opposite spectrum, when you are going into a growth pattern and going towards a growth side, you gravitate towards a type 1, which I'm a type 1. So, Sana, the question really is for you because we've, you know, lived together for a while. But I do have this one quote I want to read to you. It's from another book called Becoming Us by Jeff and Beth McCord. And it's called, it said, your turbulent emotions become more balanced when you're going towards a 1. So your turbulent emotions become more balanced, objective, and principled. You become more disciplined, focused, and productive when you see the importance of doing what is right. And I think I've actually like really seen that with you when we and stuff like when we're doing makeups and when we're doing like photo shoots and stuff. Like I see you become disciplined and you're balanced and you're focused. You're around. and I wonder.
Yeah, we're just together.
And now I'm wondering, like, does that have an effect? Like,
Yeah.
Because my oneness around you give you like more of a sense of security.
Yeah, you're like the comandante, so like I have to be, so I gotta be like in tip top shape.
Yeah,
no, for real, it's true.
Yeah. When you have people around you that have, I guess, discipline and skills with organization, you kind of like feel like you need to do the same, right?
Right,
like,
but it's out of admiration. Almost.
Exactly.
It's not like out of anything else but that.
Exactly, because you want to, because we know that we can't.
Right,
we on a daily basis we can't really do that.
Because to be honest, like I'm super unorganized and I'm super like not type A. Like I can't have routines. I'm really hard with routines, like super hard. Because I love something different every day.
Yeah.
So, and Anna's more organized, like even in school, like she's like I had one subject notebook paper, I had one subject notebook my whole senior year of college, like for all my classes, all trimesters, just one book. And Anna had like color coordinated, like by subject.
Oh my God.
Like she had little highlighters and little like, and I'm like, Anna, I had like
if you look at my notes, like, you know,
I had one subject. I had one subject notebook. Like that's all I.
And
like,
I have two, right? And and this is what I do. I write something in this one, but then I feel like writing in this one, and I'll finish writing on that one. And I'll have 2 pages that go together, but I'll have to find them later.
Right.
But that's my way of kind of like going through my notes, remembering things.
Like
it's
only
weird.
I can understand like how I organize myself. Like Anna's more definitely type A. But so when she's around and like if we're working on something, it influences me to like, all right, because I know she's doing it the right way. Like I know I'm not doing it the right way.
And it makes you feel good when you see that. Yeah, that's
I have
crazy. That's dope.
like a timer. Like I'm like, oh, you got like 20 minutes to do that, to beat that face.
No, like she'll warn me, like, because she's usually behind the client, so she'll give me like cues as to like if I need to hurry up or like whatever. So it definitely helps because I'm very like go with the wind. Like I'll figure it out. I'm winging it. Like I'm always winging something.
Yeah.
So Anna's more like, no, there's structure to things. Like
I think that's Rafi and Fernando in a sense together too. Like when we do the podcast, because if it's up for me, if it's up to me, we'll just be talking about random things and we'll just go on for 2 hours. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, let's just keep it going. And they're like, hey, we need to go somewhere with this conversation, or we need to do this, or we need to have some type of structure. And I'm just like, okay. Like,
but I've also seen you, Chico, like really disciplined and really focused, like with all this stuff.
You never seen me disciplined? No.
With all this stuff of like these cords and these mics and getting the audio right, like making sure the lighting is perfect. I've seen like
that's help from Rafi, because
But
I think that I see how they do
yeah,
it, and
like
it
I've
makes
seen
me
you
want
focus. I've seen you like
Okay,
determined.
question
You know?
for that. Question for Chico though. Like, do you feel like you depend on type ones more? Like, if Anna's in the room, like there are certain things that, like Anna got it. Like Anna's unloading my luggage. Anna's packing up my luggage. Anna's taking all
Doing
the
manual
payments.
labor.
Yeah, like Anna's taking all the payments from the clients. So like, I don't even gotta think about that. Like, I depend on Anna to do it, because I know she's around. She's there. She's gonna do it. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, sometimes when like Fernando or Rafi's there, I kind of just be like, and I think in that sense, I depend on Fernando sometimes, because me and Rafi can be a little bit unorganized or all over the place, right?
Fernando is really the one.
Yeah, Fernando will be like, all right, chick, like you got to remember this, and he'll kind of give me like a little like como que me corrige de un pronto, and I'm like, I got you. And then these are the things that I get used to. But when I don't have that, I feel like I'm all over the place.
Like I wonder if like our trait, like I'm thinking about like when me and Anna go on trips, Anna's the one who holds the map. Like I don't know where I'm going, but I know Anna know where she's going. But like I lack curiosity for that. Like I don't care about Anna explaining to me where the subway is or like where the train is. Like I genuinely don't care. So like Anna, right? Yeah, like I just take me there. Mm-hmm. So like I lack that curiosity. I feel like Anna gets Anna mad because like I just be, I don't know, Anna, like you had the map.
But do you get mad when other people lack curiosity and wanting to know information? Because I get like that when it comes to information.
Mm-hmm. Like representing the UK and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, like if you can't find the curiosity, like you'll ask me a simple question, I'm just like, you could have Googled that. Like, why are you asking me? I get frustrated with people, and when they don't have the curiosity to learn. Stupid? Yeah, that's kind of crazy to say. I do. You know, I'm sorry. Sometimes I thought that before, and I don't want to sound like I'm smarter than anybody else, because it's not the case. It's just like in those moments, I do feel like that. I definitely do.
Well, I'm just gonna.
Funny,
I'm gonna give a.
You're super funny for that.
I'm gonna give a quick summary just to recap.
Yes.
The type 4.
Because we're type 4s to go all over the place.
See, Anna's the perfect one.
Bring us back home. Bring us back home.
I'm going to leave you guys with a summary of a type 4. And if this resonates with you, just make sure that you keep digging, keep searching, keep finding out what your type is. But I'm going to read this for you guys, and we'll see. I think it's pretty much summarizes everything that we've talked about in this podcast. You are a creative force with a knack for discovering beauty, originality, and value in places that others miss. Your richer interior life of thoughts and feelings creates a hunger in you for emotional intensity and authenticity. You embrace a wide range of emotions and experiences, and with your knack for self-expression, you bring a unique aesthetic, depth, and creativity to any event or situation. When you attempt to find your unique significance and individuality apart from Christ, you can become self-absorbed, perpetually seeing your weakness and never your glory. Beyond your internal strife, you can get into relational conflicts by being withholding, dramatic, and temperamental. At times, you may appear self-absorbed and disinterested in others. You have deep intuition for others' feelings and can step into turbulent feelings with ease and compassion. With your creativity, imagination, and authentic self-expression, you are an amazing gift to the world. And I really believe that with you guys.
Thank you.
So if you guys really enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to share this episode. And don't forget to visit the Cause and Effect website. It's causeandeffectpod.com. You'll find a lot of information. You'll find some merch with the Cultura, Cause and Effect podcast. Don't forget to visit highroxy.com. And you can find us on Instagram at SundayBYOB podcast. Let us know if you like this episode. Give us some suggestions. Give us your type. And let's discuss. We out.